My clan leader was having a little fun there with the Reface app, but we're actually going to do this on my clanmate Illusions account, so let's jump on over there. He is in the same clan I'm in within the Claw cluster here, and he's been so kind as to let us hop onto his account and take a look at some of these tweaks that he's made for the budget Slo Boi Maneater Unkillable team. This is a pretty popular clan boss team that can get you into 3 key Ultra Nightmare range pretty quickly, with not quite as crazy of gear as it takes to get into some of the other unkillable teams. So great option there. He has made some tweaks to the speeds and a couple other things versus what's on Deadwood site, but this is not a knock on Deadwood site at all. I use it all the time. It's a fantastic resource. He's probably got 70 different builds on there now, and to keep all of the different speeds and everything updated for all the different use cases is pretty much impossible. So if you are having trouble with your Slo Boi budget Maneater, maybe try these speeds that we're going to go over here today. Might work out for you. And also just, learn how to use the speed calculator tool that he's got on there and see, what could work for you. Sometimes you have to go up or down a couple speeds versus what's listed, and that is not a knock on Deadwood's site. It's just a kind of a testament to how complex the speed mechanics are in this game. So that said, let's take a look at what we're working with here as far as champions. All right, let's take a look at this Maneater first. This one is built for this team, and we are running a little bit different speed here than what is listed on the site. So he's actually going at 246. I've got Deadwood's site up on my other monitor here, and the listed speed for him for this composition is actually 240 to 241. So he actually went a little bit faster than what is listed there. We do have max crit rate. We've got pretty good defense, 2800 defense, 3100 health, and a little bit of attack there. If we could get more attack, we could squeeze a little bit more damage out of him. And then we've got, a lot of other stats that we're trying to max here. So, it's tall order to get the speed and the attack way up and also max your crit. So this is a pretty good build for a Maneater here. And that is going to be how he's running him. Next up, we've got Painkeeper, and she is also a slight deviation from the site speed. She's going to be running at 215, which is a little bit slower than what's listed on the site. So the site lists her at 218 to 222. So if you are having trouble with your budget Maneater Unkillable team, maybe try tweaking these speeds a little bit and see if these numbers work for you. This is what he found works for him, works for all affinities, and it's been working out great for him. So the other thing he did with her is put her at 323 resistance. And this is enough to resist the Spirit Clan boss's slow speed almost all the time. You can never get to 100% resist. There's always at least a 3% chance that you're going to get debuffed. So 97% of the time approximately, he can just hit go after the first 2 clicks of the mouse, and we'll see his setup when we get into the run here in a little bit. But it's basically just 2 clicks, he hits auto. We don't have to worry about a complicated setup when we are on Spirit that's different than the other affinities. Having this resist lets him just go. So really nice there for convenience. If you can manage to get the speed and all the other stats that you need and that resistance, it's a really nice thing to do, just so you can just hit auto. So these are the stats we're working with here, the 37k health, 1800 attack, 2500 defense, and the 215 speed. Again, if we could get a little bit more crit rate, we could do a little bit more damage with her, but this is going to be our Painkeeper build. Next, let's move on to Bulwark, and he is going to be the Slo Boi for every single composition. It is an option to have different Slo Bois for different affinities, but the nice thing about what Illusion has done here is that he gets Bulwark to do the job for all affinities. He is Void, and he has done that by giving him a pretty big health pool here and very, very low defense. As you can see, almost all the defense that we're getting here as bonus off of his base is coming from his arena and Great Hall, only 93 from artifacts. So that's actually tough to do. But if you can do that, it is a great way to save yourself from building a bunch of different Slo Bois for different affinities. So this is going to be our Bulwark, pretty low defense like we were saying, about 1600. And to get everyone else to work well with him so that he's taking the most damage, you do want them to have about 1,000 more defense at least than your Bulwark, and 4,500 health. And then we've got max crit rate, decent accuracy, so you can land that HP burn. and that is going to be our Bulwark. And you'll note he's not wearing a shield, and again, that is to keep that defense low. I believe we are in an accuracy chess piece here, and probably HP almost everywhere else to bump his HP way up. We've got crit rate gloves, so he's got max crit, and that is going to be our Bulwark build. All right, let's take a look at our damage dealers. So our damage dealers are going to run in the same speeds as we've got on Deadwood's site. I believe it's 175 to 178. So we've got Occult Brawler up first, and he's at 176. We've got about 50% crit rate on him, 1700 attack, plenty of accuracy to land those poisons, which is where most of his damage is going to come from, and decent health pool, 2500, about 2600 defense. So that's going to be our Occult Brawler. He is also using a Frozen Banshee, and she's at 178 speed. Again, really high defense. He was probably using her in a mortal team at some point, or maybe he still does for Nightmare, I'm not sure. 1800 attack, pretty low crit rate, and then again, keeping that accuracy high so that we can land those poisons, and she can keep that damage ticking. And then last up, who is one of my favorites, he's a great choice for clan boss damage for any type of team, is going to be Razzin. And Razzin is running at 175. He's got 3,500, 3,600 defense there, 3,400 hit points, and maxed crit, also high accuracy. He's going to pump out some good damage for us. Also very good crit damage on this Razzin as well. So he can basically deal as much damage as most of the poisoners in a really good build. And this is a pretty good build, so he's going to be pumping out some good damage for us. Alright, and as far as the different affinities go, for magic we are going to use Razzin and Frozen Banshee. For spirit we're going to do Occult Brawler and Frozen Banshee, and then for force it's going to be Razzin and Occult Brawler. So those are his different damage options for the different affinities, just 3 damage dealers, and then we can use Bulwark, like I said, as the Slo Boi for all of them. So super convenient, really nice setup, and I love the tweaks that he's made to make this a little bit more convenient. So hopefully this will help you guys out, and let's jump into a run and see what kind of damage we can get out of this team. We have a Force Affinity Clan Boss right now, so this is going to be a setup for Force. I believe he uses Frozen Banshee in place of Razzin for Spirit, but the same setup and everything works just as well when you swap out Razzin for her for Spirit. So let's go in here, make sure auto isn't on when we get in here. Turn that off, and we are going to A3 with the first the only Maneater, and then we are going to A3 with Painkeeper, and then we just watch the first turn or so and make sure that the stun does go on Bulwark. If Painkeeper or Maneater take an unlucky crit and he tries to stun them, it will throw the runoff. So that's it for setup. We just hit auto now, and we will just watch this for a second, make sure all goes to plan. Looks like we should be good. We've got our Bulwark with the lowest health, so the stun should go to him, and it did. So we should be good to go for this run. So I will let this play through, watch it, make sure nothing else goes wrong, and we'll come back at the end and check out the damage. So we are coming up on the end here. Got 2 more turns, looking like we got some very solid 3 key damage. And we've got 2 more to go here. So looks like the poison bar did stay pretty full throughout the entire run. Occult Brawler does a great job of keeping that pretty full just by himself. If you have Frozen Banshee in here as well for some of the other affinities, there's no way that stuff is gonna fall off. So basically 30 million damage there out of this team on Ultra Nightmare, so not too shabby at all. Looks like Occult Brawler did the bulk of our damage. Got about 6 million out of Razzin, 3 million out of the Maneater, 2 million out of Painkeeper, and 2.6 out of Bulwark. This is actually kind of surprising, given that to get him to work as our Slo Boi, we had to lower his defense so much, but he does put out that HP burn, and that is not bad damage out of our Bulwark, all things considered. So that is the run. Well, there we go, guys. Hopefully, if you were having troubles with the speed or the setup on your Slo Boi Unkillable, this could help you out a little bit. And if you could, just drop me a like and subscribe if this was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one.